So, hi everyone, I'm Mackenzie, and along with Wanting, Ella, and Dune, our client this semester was Smart Pills. And this is created by Sam and Courtney Wang, who are two healthcare professionals committed to improving patient care through innovation. So Smart Pills is actually a Bluetooth-enabled pill box that is partnered with a mobile application. It serves to help remind patients to remember to take their medication. So they initially designed this for patients that were acquired brain injury patients, so stroke or traumatic brain injury patients, but it's actually more generalizable than that and can be used by anyone who takes medication. So the question arises, why does it matter? It's estimated that 50% of Americans will have a chronic condition requiring them to take consistent medication at some point in their lives. And it's expensive when they don't. It's estimated that over $105 billion and 125,000 lives are lost each year as a result of non-adherence. So our task was to design the mobile app for Smart Pills. And this served to remind patients to remember to take their medication and track their medicine-taking behavior. So this is our full iterative design and research process. And we're going to focus on some of the highlights of the research, but mostly on the outcome and our designs. So we conducted a unique two-pronged competitive analysis. Since we were dealing with both a device and an application, we wanted to better understand the market for both and the features of both. So here are some of the screenshots from the apps, and here are 4 of the devices that we used. And we weren't in charge of or really analyzing the design of the Smart Pills box, but this was still something that we really valued in our research. Next, we were able to conduct 20 interviews despite some struggles with IRB requirements. So we started with 2 interviews with patients of Courtney, but we wanted to really extend our reach in terms of who we were talking to and the information that we were getting. We reached out to professors, our own social circles, and facilities in the area. We were even able to conduct a 12-person group interview, which was highly valuable for us. After our interviews, we conducted our paper prototypes, and these are the final versions that we took to user testing. We tested with 5 different users, including our client, and we iterated on our designs. So mostly we worked on the verbiage of our application, and as well as some of the functionality, simplifying our navigation and working on the labels and the max time interval of the snooze option. And that was something that was recommended to us by our client. So here are some of our hi-fi mock-ups. I'm going to kind of click through these and then settle with some of our specific design decisions based on our users. So we have our home, medication management, and pill box where users can see their current and past medications. This is the reporting system that we came up with, where users can see their monthly, weekly, and daily adherence levels, also broken down by time of day. And we would recommend also including a line chart to use some trending in this feature as well. These are our settings and our notifications that we designed. So these are the design-specific decisions that we made based on our user findings. So our users and interviewees told us that a lot of times they would have to look at their physical pill box to understand whether they'd taken their pill. So we incorporated some skeuomorphism here so that users can see their application, which would reflect the state of their pill box. This is editable, so users can go back and change whether they've taken or missed a medication, but this is to keep them from having to worry about having their pill box in order to know whether they've taken their medication. Next, we offered flexible snooze options. People told us that they would often forget to take their medication if they were busy and would turn off their alarms with the intention of remembering to take their medication. By offering them flexible snooze options, this would give them the opportunity to select when to get their next alarm rather than just having it be on a factory default, and this would increase the opportunity for them to take their medication. Finally, we had users tell us that they would turn off their alarm because it was annoying, and they would forget to turn it back on, and as a result, they would be missing their medications. So we decided to incorporate a feature where users could temporarily turn off their alarms, so they weren't dealing with the loud noises of the alarms constantly, but that it would turn back on. They wouldn't have to go in and physically remember to turn it back on to still have their alarms. Finally, we came up with some future recommendations for our clients. We recommend them conducting more user research, specifically around potential gamification of this app and the incorporation of family members in using this app, in terms of having family members customize or receive alerts as well. We also want them to look further into the actual design of the pill box. Since this was out of the scope of our project, we did see that something that the customers really valued was the size and portability of the pill box. And we really want to know whether the Bluetooth is the best decision for them. However, we do fully support the decision to incorporate lights and sounds on the pillbox as well. And with that, we will open the field to questions.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well, the judges are asking questions with DEI. Please come to the front of the room. Judges, questions.
Thank you. I have a question. So you say the app will be able to reflect the status of the pillbox. Is that a manual process or is it automatic?
When you get a pop-up, So essentially when you get a reminder, you have 3 options. 1 to snooze or skip or take the medicine. So from there it would update.
I see.
And then you could go into the screen. If you skipped it, you can edit it, say that you took it later.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have a slide that shows this, but do you have like an overall dashboard if people have like multiple medications, what that would look like?
Yeah, we have a pill box,
Okay.
right here. And it lists all the meds, past meds do. These switches turn on and off.
Okay. And my other question is, what is the value in showing the patient what their quote-unquote adherence percentage or rate is?
From here, you could give them incentive or be able to tell when and the time of day they tend to miss. Some patients said that we interviewed, they typically miss afternoon pills a lot. But a nice thing, a professor we talked to said that a line graph would be really nice because it'll tell them the trends, times that they're doing poorly or if they're doing better. Will it motivate them?
Another thing also is with their specific target patients, which were the traumatic brain injury and stroke patients, they would go to talk to their doctors and they'd say, have you been taking their medications? And they'd say, I think so. I mean, they try to remember as best as they can, but actually being able to pull out their phone and say, it looks like I had a really tough week this week, and I know that's because I was traveling, or just kind of having these cues to say, I know that I have trouble in the morning, then maybe they can work on their actual medication schedule to better reflect what they're showing with their data.
Do you have slides of your early iterations, like of prototypes, paper prototypes, anything like that? Okay. And I wanted to ask, what did you do beyond customer interviews that informed the problem? So, for example, were you able to observe them using some form of this alert system and see how they reacted to whether they snoozed or took the pills or skipped? What was the learning there?
We tested by putting the paper prototypes in front of them and asked them to go through it and do some tasks, like add a pill, or if they saw a pop-up, what would it mean to them? So can you go back to like what we changed between the... Yeah, so swapping out some of the icons helped. They didn't like that the home was a pill. And also the label for settings, we changed to be, a settings wheel instead of calling it alerts.
Okay, so you didn't actually do any testing of the actual alerts themselves?
The device?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have the device to test
Okay.
with. We just had the app.
They do have some kind of rudimentary versions of their current system that we weren't able to test with. But with our actual mock-ups, we haven't tested those.
Okay, so when you were studying the problem of people not remembering to take their pills, were there any other solutions you approached with when they, instead of snoozing the alarm, maybe something more contextual to their environment?
Oh, from competitive analysis and some talking to faculty here, they recommended thinking about having an option to record a family member's voice to notify you to take your meds.
Okay.
We also had kind of like the mixed alarm, the lights and sounds thing.
Okay.
But we did also, when we observed users with our interviews, we were able to talk to them about their current interventions, how they remember to take their medication. And we also did some kind of just talking to people in general about how they remember, specifically. We wanted to make sure that smartphones were actually a viable option for these people, and we did find out that there were quite a few people who use smartphones for
Okay.
alarms.
So was there anything leading to the fact that maybe they aren't around to take their pills when the alarm goes off?
Yeah, some patient interviews said that they don't remember to carry the pills with them. So a part of the design of the client is that having a geofence option. So when you leave your home, it'll notify that you've gone outside the range. Did you remember to take your pills? And they're working on some other geofence options too.
I just wanted to say, I love your user-centered designs of flexible snooze and sound off, like that's brilliant, so really nice features.
Thank you.